So I was doing some lighting up of the caves around my base, specifically under my base. And first of all, I found this, which is just a regular zombie spawner, but it's closer. So there's that. But I also found this. So that could be interesting. Because this one is definitely not one that I found already. Hopefully this one will have better stuff in it than the other one. But let me get back up to the surface. Hello, my name is Chuck Ross, and we're playing Minecraft. Yeah, I would say this zombie spawner is a little closer than the other ones. So for today, I think we're going to do a little bit of beautifying up the yard. So for the most part, we're gonna basically start by taking out all the flowers and stuff. Working on a little bit of the terrain, because that's just kind of weird. And kind of laying out a little bit of a plan for where I want to put things. Most of the things in the yard are probably going to be kind of just decorative for the most part. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. So for now, let's just get this flattened out a little bit. Should be pretty simple. It's not really that bad, to be honest. Well, I've got it mostly flat. I left a couple of divots. We'll see if I end up keeping them or not. I might end up taking this entire area and putting it on a single level. Or two, kinda. We'll see. I might remove those kind of entirely, honestly. I'm not sure yet. For now, leaving them like that is fine. So as far as this side goes, I think I'm probably going to bring the fence out from probably a little bit farther out than the portal, so like a little closer to the house, and take that all the way down the side, fill that in with some stuff. I want to do a well over here. I'm trying to figure out what else to put in this, like, farmyard thing. And I am kind of struggling. So maybe for now, I will focus on the parts that will be the easiest, or the most straightforward anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I think a little bit farther over would be good. Kind of like here. Now we'll give them to here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, boom. I guess I could use the payload since I have a million of those. Do I want to have this straight across, or do I want to have it curve out a little bit? A curve could be interesting, but I don't know if there'd be like a point to that. I think for now, because of the kind of fence, I think I will just take this as a straight line all the way down. Well, it's been about a day since the last recording, and I've done a couple of things. Firstly, I have turned back on my iron farm, mostly just to collect some bone meal. It is not the most efficient thing, but it is a passive way to get bone meal, so I will take it. One of the other things that I've been doing is marking out a couple of things, mostly just where I want to put the well. So around there, I'm trying to grow some big trees because I don't feel like making trees myself. You may also notice that part of the fence is gone. What you may not realize is that I've been doing a little bit of terraforming. This entire section wasn't like that. This used to come up and then down here. Even that's fake. Yeah, looks pretty good. Go in here, you can kind of see. Yeah, looking pretty good. From the outside, it looks great. And I have been working on the slope. And it's one of those things that, like, because terraforming just takes a while to get into, I kind of always put it off. But once I kind of got where I was, got into the flow of it, it's actually not too bad. I'm making some pretty good progress. I still have to do this corner, which is gonna be weird, but it shouldn't be too bad. But that's not what we're doing right now. Right now, I want to go back into the house and gather up some materials for the sort of barn outdoor section. So let's see, I'm going to build sort of an outdoor water trough that's going to have a cover on it. So I'm going to need some payload fences. I might actually just need to bring some payload because I think I'm going to do some some other stuff. Let's see, I'm gonna need probably spruce trapdoors. I feel like that would be the best option for barn doors. I will need some roof supplies. Mostly those, and then I'll just grab a couple of those. Shouldn't need too much. I'm not going to add like a whole bunch to the roof. What else do I need? I don't have rooted dirt. I do have podzol, which isn't a terrible option. Let's grab some of that. Do I have any mud? Where would that be? Mud would be... I feel like mud would be over here. No mud. Okay. Not a problem. That is easily doable. Probably not... Well, I'll bring some anyway. Are you here? Yes. Okay, that's right. I remember how I categorize these. That makes sense. Let's see. Maybe some dead leaves. Maybe we'll grab some firefly bushes as well. Secret water source. Oh, yeah. Oh, how could I forget? I'm going to need a whole bunch of these, I think. And maybe some mangrove as well. We will see if that will do for now. I might end up coming back and making some mud. But, I don't know. Mud's kind of really gray. It's not exactly one of the brown blocks that I would like to have in there. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to put the fence, the actual gate to get in here. So for now, we're just using the normal fence. And just going through there. Okay. So, easiest, I think, to do would be to start with the barn door. I think I'm going to do the sliding one. And I think I could do one closed and the other one open. Or I could do a single barn door that sort of slides out of the way. Okay, I do like the barn door. I don't want it closed, obviously. Let's try just opening it halfway. I don't think that works. So what if we did the same thing, but as if it was two and they slid opposite directions? So 1, 2, 3. I don't hate it. I'm probably spending way too much time on this, but... You know what? Maybe to give it a little bit of an interest, maybe I will have them open out. Because as of right now, the texture is all very flat. So I think having the door actually swing out rather than slide out, I think that might make a difference. So let's have one like that, and then we will do... Actually, no, let's have this one open and the other one closed. This way it doesn't block the entire view inside. I feel like if I had this one open, I would virtually not be able to see anything inside. So I think this way will make the most sense, hopefully. Okay, what do we think of that? I think that's the way to go, honestly. Apparently I'm a big fan of half-open doors. Let's see, next I need a little bit of a window up here. And I think that's going to have to be out of the pale oak. I might be able to get away with that with the stairs. We'll see. And this is on a 2. Okay. That actually should work out better for what I'm doing. Normally, I wouldn't want the center of a build to be on 2 blocks. I just tend to have issues building on that. But I think this will be fine. There should be something in there like a trapdoor, but I don't know which kind I want. Maybe the mangrove would be the right way to go? I don't know. I mean, it's basically invisible, but you're not really ever going to look at it, so I think that's okay. Last thing, I might try the regular spruce trapdoors just out of curiosity, but I will probably end up going with these. Now that just feels weird. I think it is the mangrove. That's the way to go. All right, and then I think maybe just here I will do the little watering trough. So I'll go probably around here, and then I guess I could come off from the white section. Maybe do about there. I don't want it huge. It's basically just an overhang or an awning. Okay, I think I like it, but I think I want it moved in a single block. So that will actually be there and there. I don't, for some reason, like that it touches the side here. So I'm going to actually take that back one. Yeah, I do think that's better. Okay, so now I'll come in with the trapdoors. And let's go... Do I want it that far out? I feel like it's a huge trough. It's kind of supposed to be exaggerated, so I think I'm okay with that. And if I remember my Minecraft water physics correctly, this should work. Okay, nice. See, I'm trying to remember. I remember it was either... You know what? I think it was actually stairs that I'm thinking of. I remember when I played on Bedrock for a little bit, one of the things that I was used to acting a specific way with water did not act that way. And I think it was stairs. It would actually leak through the bottom. I forgot two very important things when doing sort of muddy used ground. And first, that is jungle wood. And second is coarse dirt, which I am going to have to make myself. Yeah, I don't have a fortune shovel, so this is what we're doing. Are you serious? That was not a good ratio then. That had fortune 3. I should have gotten quite a bit more flint than that. Because it's not supposed to be a 1-for-1, is it? I certainly don't remember it being a 1-for-1. Okay, how is it made? Okay. What is it that requires flint? Okay, I was wrong. I don't know why, but I thought you just combined flint and, that's gonna give me 8 stacks. Do I want 8 stacks? Yeah, I think I want 8 stacks. Or 4, because math is hard. Let's see, I think... Obviously, this area is going to be pretty heavily trafficked. Ew. Hello there. Well, that's going to be very annoying. Very soon, I think. See, I don't think I want to remove all of the dirt from this entire area. I think that would be kind of ugly. But maybe just high traffic areas. Like in front of the barn, a couple paths here and there. I think that's the way to go. Okay, and I did end up moving it closed halfway. When I walked out of the house back outside, I think I noticed that I didn't like having both of them open, so I think we'll do this. If I end up changing my mind again, I will fix it again. But for now, we will do this. Just trying to give kind of an idea of what I'm going to be doing here. I also don't want the grass to get inside. That should be fine. Because now we're coming in with a course. Not bad, to be fair. But I think throwing in a couple of these... Oh, that is a little more different than I remember it being. Maybe it's the planks that I'm thinking of? That's right, because these are like kind of green, actually. And there... It's not as good as I remember it being. Okay. What was it? Oh, man. I'm trying to remember, because I was super happy with, like, the sort of dirty ground that I had made on the Wild Coast, but I'm trying to remember what I used. I think... I have a sneaking suspicion. It was dripstone. Okay, I do actually have some. Good to know. I mean, I should have some dripstone. That's like an entire cave right below me that's just full of it. I think this matches better. It kinda does. Okay. I don't know why that looks so much better to me than the jungle wood. That feels pretty messy, so I'll leave that there right now. Instead, let's move on to this area a bit and maybe sleep. Maybe what I want to do is actually fill in the areas that have the dripstone first. And then a couple of planks. Seriously, it literally just rained. And then I think a couple of these guys. But face up. And I guess we will go here. And then some coarse dirt. And then we go back in with some of the packed dirt. Or path dirt. I don't remember what it's called. I gotta say, I liked this one. I like this one a lot. In fact, I liked it so much, I built a second one. And it's even bigger. Now, this one I think is mostly going to be food. So I'm going to put like hay bales and things under this. But I'm basically just going to be doing that thing just more. So I'll be right back. Well, I've got the feeding and I've got the watering stations, but I think both look pretty good. What I think I need to do now is actually kind of come through and level out this section of the ground, because what I would love to do is put like a little chicken coop right around here. But I'm not a huge fan of change in elevation, so I might have to work on that. It's not difficult, it's just kind of annoying. So let me just get that done. And so I'm trying to build like a chicken coop. And the chicken coops that I've seen honestly tend to be like miniature versions of the larger barns. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But man, building this on this scale is kind of weird. In like a difficult kind of way. And then you go up there. Like right now, I think that's looking about right. The roof is what's giving me trouble. I think... How can I deal with that? Because if the roof is too thick, it just does not look right. The size is just wrong. So maybe I could do some stairs instead of the half slabs for some of it. I'll just work on one side so that I'm not like wasting all of my time on getting the entire roof on, tearing it all down. That feels pretty good. Let me get this whole side in. I mean, it's just not working. What is the problem with this? Man, what if I do mangrove stairs there? And maybe a pale oak stair? I'm trying to replicate like this top section of the barn there. Hopefully that works. You know, I think we've got something here. That is pretty good. Now, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that. But, I mean, for the most part, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm going to go with that. So I've made a little progress. I also changed out the stairs for shelves and popped out a couple of windows in here. And I rotated it 90 degrees, which I think looks better. Having it face the way that it was just a little weird, having the second door like face right into this wall. So I gave it a little bit more room and have a little back area, I guess. So that's nice. I also put up a little fence here just for the chickens. I made some big trees using the really, really old school technique. It's not the fastest thing, but it's mostly reliable. I've only had to replace the trees a couple of times, but it's not too bad. I did a little stuff around the base of the tree, which I think looks really good. I swapped out the water trough thing with more food and moved the water to this little section out here. It's not the prettiest thing, but it does exactly what it's supposed to. And I know I've seen something like this before in an actual farm, so I'm okay with it. I do think it needs another structure coming down, though. So, do I not have any more? I do, okay. There we go, that feels a little more structurally sound. Okay. So I have one more tree to do the little base around, and then I will get to the actual foliage stuff that's going to go around the place that finally makes it look a little more complete. So that should be fun. For the tree bases, I went a little bit more basic. Pretty much just get a 3x3 on each side, connect that up into a bit more of a circle, and then I come in with mostly the podzol, kind of center that around the tree itself. This one's kind of coming this way, so I will try to focus the podzol a little more this way. I just think it kind of fits that feeling a little better. I didn't do it for all of them, but I'm going to try to do it kind of more intentionally this time. And kind of a little bit out here, but not too much. And then we come in with the coarse dirt. Okay, that's pretty good in and of itself. However, what I want to do is come in and just occasionally put down some regular dirt so that I can make that into path blocks. And then maybe one more like there, I guess. No, we'll do it out here. That was entirely unnecessary. And yeah, so from here, I'm just going to kind of work out a little bit of the coarse dirt to bring it out of the very circular pattern, just to break that up a little bit more. And then maybe we'll take the podzol and spread that a little bit farther. That's very squarish, so let's maybe do something like that. And that's about it. That's pretty simple to do. I like it a lot. Very easy, very simple, but very nice. So I think the last step before I call the outside good. Oh, look, it finally grew. Okay. It is not quite the direction I was hoping for, but it is good. So what I want to do next is I don't want the silk touch, I want the regular shovel. And I'm going to just come through and pull up some of this. Probably replace a couple of them back. And we'll do that. Okay. And then we will come back with the probably mostly just coarse dirt, which I will need to make more of again. Do something like that. Maybe bring it out a little bit more. And then I will do that on this side. One thing that I'm seriously considering doing is actually adding... Actually, yeah. I'm considering adding like a storm cellar, I guess, to like the outside of the house. That way I can just go through the outside rather than having to fly all the way back into my house, walk down all the stairs, do all that sort of stuff. So then the next step is just sort of messing this up a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Oh, you know what I should do? Since I have that, let's hide some lighting in there. Yeah, having an entrance that was outside that I could just like walk out up this way, that would be very nice. I don't know if I want to put... I think I'll go ahead and put them here. I was originally kind of thinking I might have like an entrance, like a side entrance to the barn, but I don't think that's really going to be necessary. And next, I want to try doing mangrove roots, kind of like dead vines that have been growing up and then died off. So let's say it kind of forks off there, and maybe over here as well. over, down, down, and then a little bit. Nope. Kind of like that, maybe? I don't hate it. I think I need a little bit more here and less here. Oh, yeah. I like that quite a bit. I do want to come out here a little bit, and just every once in a while, maybe not on this one. Maybe on this one it kind of wraps around a little bit, kind of like that. And then over here, I'm just going to have this one droop a little bit more. I don't know why I'm bothering doing that side. I literally never see it from this angle. But that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And let's see. You don't want to do too similar on this side so that it doesn't look like it's just mirrored. Close enough, I think, would be a good idea. So let's maybe get up here again. Ooh, this time I have a second roof to play with. That's nice. So let's say this one kind of comes over on this one. And then up. And let's go over this way. Curve back around. Nice. And then maybe this time we'll just take it up and spread it like it's trying to go up onto this roof, maybe? Just a little bit. This one might be a little too much. Might have gone a little overboard on this one. That's a giant clump. I don't think I like that. What am I going to do with that? Okay, so maybe what we'll do then is the part that gets to the roof comes from this side, and then this part can just kind of work its way over there. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. I don't hate it. I wish I could get it to like sit flat, which I might be able to kind of cheese a little bit. What if, since this is half a block, I might be able to kind of recess it into the roof. I don't like that because that's red. That'll be very obvious if I ever fly over. Maybe just kind of like that. That looks pretty good. Honestly, you can't even really tell. I wouldn't do that a whole lot, but if you did it mostly when it's not directly next to the edge, I think that would be a really good look. So if I did like that one there, skipping this one because that's going to be a red block of some kind, yeah. And then going back to like, say, I don't know, here, maybe? It could still arc up, but it would come back down and then hit that. I think that's the way to go. I don't like that for some reason, so let's go do that, and... yeah, I don't mind the one, but when it was like 3 or 4 of them, it just felt weird. That is looking pretty good. Next thing I need to do is pretty much the finishing touches, actually. So let's see, I will want the leaf litter, I will want the bushes, the short grass, and the dry grass. If I remember... yes, okay. So now I'm just going to come over and occasionally we're going to get some of that. I don't want the tall one in the front. I think I want just the short one. And that'll be good there. Because of how bright this is, I don't want to go too heavy with it. Plus, I'm about to run out, so that kind of limits that anyway. Does that look right? No, that doesn't quite work. Okay. That's a shame. I was hoping that it would look like the ends of the wheat or something, but that's just not quite working. And then we take some of the leaf litter. Looking at the direction the tree is going, we will say that most of the leaves fall this way. Barely noticeable on those, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And then let's do a little bit of these very sparsely. Do I want to do the bushes here? I don't dislike that, actually. So let's do that. Move on to the next tree. Again, going pretty sparse around these. Mostly just 2 of each. And it's definitely not because I don't have enough bone meal. It's just because I don't want it to look overly decorated, I guess. 1 over here. And a little bush there. A little bush there. Here a bush, there a bush. Okay. Yeah, the bushes, because they're, I guess, just new to me, they feel a lot more intentional than just, like, you know, grass. Let's try the grass around the bush areas, though. Let's also try some of the bushes around the bush area. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm not going to go too heavy with them. Again, trying to keep it kind of light, kind of minimal. I tell you what, this looks pretty dang good. It's a little more overgrown than I originally planned for it to be, I will be honest. Originally, like I think I said this earlier, but my plan was originally to have, like, very clean looking buildings because I don't really do that a whole lot. But then with the barn, just the size of it just kind of made it really difficult for me to be okay with that, I guess. It just felt too large to have that clean of a texture. Are those in line? I'm not a huge fan of them being in line, so we will not do that. Instead, we will do nothing there. You got to keep them guessing, you know? Okay. I would say I can call the exterior of this done. I might do just like a little bit of a spamming of the regular grass. Just hoping that it looks like a little less manicured. I don't want to go too overboard. Actually, that's not bad. Like most building rules that I have seen, it's advisable to stick to them until you can't. So once it no longer makes sense to just be very particular about where things go. Oh, yeah. Man, that looks good. It looks a little run down, but still functional. Oh, man, I am so happy with this. I cannot believe it. Oh, it is so good. I was kind of nervous about doing this because I'm like, oh, man, this is a lot of space. So do I like try to fill the space? Do I try to just leave it empty? What do I do? But I think this is like the perfect in-between where there's plenty of space between everything, but I feel like the in-between makes enough sense for what it is. And of course, what would a farm be without some baby animals? Now, I know that I had like 20-something leads, and I couldn't figure out where I put them all until I remembered that I apparently left the cows attached, so that's a lot of cows. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Now, the real dilemma is the rabbits. Side note, I forgot that they changed the texture on these guys. They look so much cuter now. They're still absolutely massive, but they're a lot cuter. They are really cute. I gotta say, they're so cute. You are not exactly tiny, are you? I mean, you're cute. You're just not exactly tiny. And what kind of foal do we get? Ooh, a white one. Okay. I think for the sheep, we will just do a little baby white one. And maybe we'll try our chances with a brown or black one. Ain't you cute? Okay. And next up is the chickens. So I will have 2 full-grown and 2 baby chicks of the regular variety. I think I might just do the blue ones. I might not do the brown ones. And maybe I'll do just a couple of the baby brown chicks. If it doesn't feel too crowded after that, then I might go ahead and do a couple of the adult browns, but I probably have to go ahead and release the sheep, huh? All right, and then we can unblock this area. This still doesn't actually go anywhere. It just goes into this little back entrance, I guess. But it is also entirely blocked off, so it's not like there's a place for them to go. So, if they end up back here, that's fine. I haven't decorated this part at all. I'm not doing it right now. But, man, does this area feel alive. I say as the iron golem dies in the distance. Man, it really feels like an actual farm. I'm so happy. This feels like the most complete... set is the wrong word, but it feels like a set, you know? Where it's like, I'm not building a literal farm, I'm building like a set of a farm, or like a living statue, I guess, of a farm, if that makes sense. and it feels very alive, and it's super cool. I think I might have to thin the herd a little bit for some of the stuff, but overall, it's looking pretty good. One thing to note is one of the things that I'm really pleased that I did it this way, and it was kind of an accident to be honest, is because of where the barn is and where the land is, it's actually kind of the perfect place to do this because I don't know how the code works for these guys, but it seems to me that the sort of mob AI for the animals try to pathfind to higher ground. I don't know if it's like a set higher ground or just generally they try to, for whatever reason, they always end up trying to climb up the hill. And you can see this by, if I hit F3 and B again, the, not the zombies, but the horses, they all congregate at the very top of this hill. They could go anywhere, and there are some examples where that's not the case. But for the most part, they all just kind of keep running up that hill. Even the sheep too. What's cool about that is that when I eventually, by the way, I finished most of this hill, I have yet to do a bit of the side. It's still a little ugly that way, which actually it shouldn't be too bad. It'll be a lot of dirt, but it shouldn't be too bad. But once I eventually open this up to being like a grazing pasture, there will be sheep and other animals that sort of stick around out here, but most of them should continue to stay up there because it's the highest area of the ground. So you might have a little bit of back and forth, but for the most part, they'll be up here, which is just kind of cool that I was able to, I mean, let's be honest, accidentally work with, hypothetically, the Minecraft mob AI. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of sheep. I'm going to have to whittle this down a bit. You are a problem. I will still have to make a bunny enclosure, but that might not happen today. I'd like to keep them just because they're actively trying to kill themselves, and I would rather them not do that, especially in front of me on camera. So I will try to find a place where they can stay. Now, I have been here for a minute doing all that stuff. Let's see. I have pulled out, I think, a little over 20 bone meal so far. It might be 26. It might be a little over that, but that should be about it. Here we go. So he comes down. And that happens. I'm only collecting this because I was curious to see if having the hopper right here would like miss some of the poppies. Like if it was too close, I could see that it might not pick them up immediately. I don't know. It was just a thought in my head, so I was collecting them here. I very possibly might just burn these right now. I'm probably going to put a block of lava here to send all of the iron into there. But for right now, oh, we have another 30. Okay, that's doing pretty well. Of course, I've been loading it forever, but oh, I am so pleased with the progress that I have made. For the more obvious stuff, obviously you have this entire thing. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. Now, the less obvious is this used to be a divot. This went down like 2 or 3 blocks. So that has been terraformed to look Minecraft natural, which makes things a little easier because there was like this annoying divot, and honestly, I didn't want to deal with it. It's kind of annoying. There was another one over here, which I think I talked about a little bit, which also, I think, honestly, as far as just like trying to make it blend into the Minecraft terrain, that looks pretty good. I don't think that if you told me that was terrained, I could tell you that it was. I would assume that you were lying to me. And then we've got this, which I was doing mostly off camera, because it's not like fun. There's not like anything to talk about with it. It's just a thing you have to do, you know? So that's been a thing that I did. And I still have a little bit more to go. But again, it should not be too bad. I'm trying to figure out what fence design I want to use for this section, though. Because what we're going to have here is we're going to have grazing pastures, and then we're going to have a section that's just like actual farmland. I don't know how far that's going to go, though. So that's going to be interesting. But for right now, thank you so much for watching. I have been Chuck Ross. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Totally intentional. Old Chuck Ross, he had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had some animals, E-I-E-I-O. Please don't use this.